Let's look at how we use the word that. Basically, that has two main functions. We use that to explain something, and we use that to describe the extent of a feeling. Extent means level. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Okay, we use that to explain something. I would like to use three examples to explain this point to you. Okay, look at the first one. Peter suggests, and then you have to ask, Peter suggests what? So when you want to further explain the verb, you have to use that. Explains. Peter suggests that we should have our dinner in the restaurant. Okay, I repeat, yeah. This phrase give us further explanation of what Peter suggests. So the word that is used here to explain what Peter suggests. It gives us more information. Next, deny. The boy deny. The boys deny. What do they deny? So you want to further explain. So the boys deny that they break the window. So again, the that phrase, okay, the that here give us further explanation about what the boys deny. Next, belief. Hindu followers believe, and then you want to explain further, what do Hindu followers believe? Hindu followers believe that there are karma and dharma. Okay, so the that here is used to explain further what Hindu followers believe. So, in brief, we use the word that to explain the verb, to give more information about what the verb means. Okay, now let's look at another one. What do I mean by to describe the extent of a feeling? I'll give you three sentences as well. The first one, the movie is so interesting. And now you want to tell me about the extent of how interesting the movie is. So you can use the word that I watch it again and again. So the that phrase at the back, yeah, the that clause at the back tells us how interesting the movie is, the extent of how interesting the movie is. The movie is so interesting that I watch it again and again. Next, boring. The movie is so the movie is so boring, and then you want to explain how boring is the movie. It's so boring that I fall asleep in the cinema. Okay, so this sentence explains how boring the movie is. Okay, it explains further about about the adjective boring. And then the last one, the teacher is so fierce. And then how fierce is the teacher? You want to talk about the extent. So you use the word that all students are afraid of talking to her. So The that clause at the back gives us the information about the extent of how fierce the teacher is. So remember, we can use that to explain. We can use that to explain the verb or to describe the extent of a feeling. Now let's look at practice number 1. Read the sentences below and identify the functions of the sentences to explain or to describe. He is so happy that he jumps off the bed. So this sentence is to describe. It describes how happy he is. He is so happy to the extent that he jumps off the bed. Number 2, he forgets that the restaurant is closed today. So this sentence is to explain. It explains further about what he forgets. Number 3, the girl is so scared that she shouts loudly. This is to describe. It explains how scared the girl is. The girl is so scared that she shouts loudly. Is so scared that to the extent that she shouts loudly. Number 4, the girl said that there is a suspicious man in the backyard. So this one is to explain. It explains further about what the girl said. Number 5, Peter mentions that his father will come to pick him up later. This one is to explain. It explains what Peter mentions. And number 6, Peter is so tired that he falls asleep at the bus stop. So this is to describe. It describes how tired Peter is. To describe. Okay, now I think you should be able to roughly differentiate the functions of that to explain more about the verb and to describe the extent of a feeling. Okay, now look at practice number 2. You have to complete the sentences below with that to show the extent of a feeling. Number 1, Jenny is so angry that she walks out of the room. So remember, after that you need a subject here. If your answer is Jenny is so angry that walks out of the room, this is wrong because you lack a subject. So you need to put a subject here, that she walks out of the room. Number 2, the situation is so dangerous. How dangerous is the situation? That the government implements MCO all over the country. That's for number 2. Number 3, the weather is so hot that the glaciers are melting quickly. Okay, number 4, the noise is so loud that the window panes crack. Number 5, the toilet is so smelly that it is impossible to stay inside for 1 minute. Number 6, the classroom is so cold that every student wears a jacket. Okay, of course you can change the subject here. Okay, you can replace it with another subject. For example, the classroom is so cold that Peter wears a jacket, or the classroom is so cold that the boy wears a jacket. Okay, so the subject here, you can change the subject. Number 7, the book is so difficult that I do not understand any word. Okay, number 8, the restaurant is so famous. How famous is the restaurant? So you want to tell me the extent of its fame. So you use the word that it is impossible to dine there without booking. Number 9, the man is so upset that he refuses to eat. Number 10, the news. The news is so ridiculous that no one believes it. So I would like to bring attention to the that clause again. Remember, the that clause tells us the extent of a feeling. Let's go through number 1 again. Jenny is so angry. And then we want to explain further about how angry Jenny is. So we use the that clause, that she walks out of the room. Of course, you can use other actions to describe her anger. For example, Jenny is so angry that she cries. Or Jenny is so angry that she smashes all the windows in the classroom. So we can use that to explain or to describe the extent of a feeling. Okay, now look at practice number 3. Complete the sentences below with that to give further explanation about a verb. Look at this. I remember it. And then you have to know, what does it here refer to? It here refers to my sister took away my badminton racket last night. So how do we combine the sentences together? Look at this. I remember. And then what do you remember? I remember that my sister took away my badminton racket last night. So look at how we use the word remember. When you use the word remember, you have to use that to explain what you remember. Number 2, the newspaper reported it. So the it here refers to what? It refers to the cases of COVID-19 are on the rise. So when you combine them, you have to combine it this way. The newspaper reported that the cases of COVID-19 are on the rise. Okay, continue. The teacher advises the students. And then you ask yourself, what does the teacher advise? So use the word that to give further explanation. The teacher advises the students that they should study hard at home. And then, of course, we don't want to repeat the phrase the students twice. Okay, so when it comes to the second time, we use they, the pronoun they, to refer to the students. We don't want to repeat the students twice. Number 4, the naughty boy promises his mother, and then you want to further explain what does he promise his mother. So you use the word that. The naughty boy promises his mother that he will turn over a new leaf. And the last one, the government estimates it. So it here refers to what? It here refers to many people will lose their jobs during the pandemic of COVID-19. So this is how we should write the sentence. The government estimates that many people will lose their jobs during the pandemic of COVID-19. So as you can see here, we use that to explain further about the verb. I repeat again, look at this sentence. The teacher advises the students, and then you want to tell the readers further about what the teacher advised them. So you use the word that they should study hard at home. And then another thing that you have to know is that normally certain verbs always come together with that. For example, remember, reported, advises, promises, estimates, or argue, insist, report, predict, shout, explain, convince, admit, announce, complain, understand. And of course, there are many other words that come together with that, and you can get them easily online. Right, that's all for today.